Hello everyone, in this video I'll be solving Cambridge AS Level Information Technology Paper 2 for February-March 2023. You have been supplied with the following source files. I have the files copied here. You will create a spreadsheet for a tiler to calculate the number of tiles. So create a new spreadsheet that looks like this. So first let's type all the data. After that we can do the formatting. I have typed in all the text here. Now let's format as required. In row 1, the text is merged across the 3 columns. So A, B, C, merge and center. We have to format the merge cell to have white 36-point font on a red background. So the size is 36. The font color is white and the background is red. Center align all cells in column B. Replace the text in cell A19 with your name, center number and candidate number. All the cells in column B must be center aligned. And in cell A19 you have to write your name, center number and candidate number. If you look at the spreadsheet, you can see all the text in column A is right aligned. It is right aligned. And row 2, 6, 9 and 15 and 12 are partly hidden. So row 2, 6, 9, 12 and 15 are partly hidden, so that we have done. Save your spreadsheet as tiles followed by your center number and candidate number. Save as Excel workbook. Open a separate worksheet in your workbook using an appropriate worksheet name and import the data from the file m23 sizes.csv. So we have the data in m23 sizes which is given. So copy all the data. Go to the file you prepared, a new sheet. Let's name it as sizes and paste the data here. Let's rename this sheet as tile. Examine this data. Enter formulae in column C to display the size of each tile as length multiplied by width, or length and then x symbol width. For example, if the tile has a length of 60 and a width of 30, the cell should display 60 by 30 in this format. So first let's We can use a concatenate function here to show the cell, the tile size. So concatenate. So the first text is the length, then you need a space, then the multiplication symbol or x, and again one more space, and the text 3 is width. Let's give OK. So we got the required format. Let's replicate it. So this is the formula which we have used in the worksheet created in step 1. Make sure that cell B5 can contain only a blank cell or the letters Y or N in upper or lowercase. Add appropriate text for the user. Do not include a drop-down menu. So in cell B5, we have to set data validation. Go to data, data validation, choose list. Now we can enter uppercase Y or N or lowercase y or n. Type the values separated by comma. And it will accept blank, so keep as it is. Drop down menu should not be shown. And we have to add an input message to the user. So go to input message. You can type here. Enter Y for yes and N for no. Any input, appropriate input message can be given here. Give OK. So you can see the message is shown here, and drop down menu is not there, and it will not accept any other value other than Y or N. In cell B7, make sure that a user can select from a drop-down list containing the size of the tiles from step 2. Step 2 means we had displayed the tile size like this. So these values should come as the drop-down list in cell B7. So again, go to data validation. You have to select list. Now in source, you can select the size column from this file, from this worksheet. So I have selected this column, give OK. So you can see a drop down menu which has all the tile sizes. In cell B8, make sure that a user can select from a drop down list containing only landscape and portrait. This cell must not be blank. So here in cell orientation, again data validation, select list. It should be landscape or portrait. And blank will not be accepted, so remove this, give OK. So you can select one of this. Next, enter a formula in cell B13 that uses the orientation of the tile and the tile size to display the horizontal tile size. If the size is 60 by 30 and the orientation is portrait, we have to display 30 as the horizontal tile size. If it is landscape, it would be 60. So if you enter a size here, for example 60 by 30, and the orientation is portrait, then the horizontal tile size should be displayed as 30, and if it is landscape, the horizontal tile size would be 60. So this can be done using a lookup formula using this file, this worksheet sizes. So let's use an XLOOKUP function. XLOOKUP. The lookup value is the tile size. Lookup value is tile size. Lookup array is the column from which the size can be found. That means this is the lookup array. Now return array is the width column if it is portrait, otherwise it is the length column. So let's enter a formula, if formula here. If you can click on if so that the if formulas wizard will be shown. So if tile orientation equal to portrait. If it's portrait, the lookup array is the width column. So select the width column. Otherwise if it is landscape, so in the else case you can give the length column. Let's make this absolute. This range also, let it be absolute. We are not replicating, still it's better to make it absolute because they are the ranges. So now you can see so this is the formula which we have used, X lookup. The lookup value is the tile size. The lookup array is C22 to C24 in this file. The lookup array is this column, and now we are checking whether it is portrait. If it is portrait, the width column is taken, that is column B. Otherwise the length column is taken, that is column A. So if you change this to landscape, we must get 60. So we are getting 60 here. Enter a formula in cell B14 that uses the orientation of the tile and the tile size to display the vertical tile size. So it should work in the other way here. That means if it is 60, then the vertical size will be 30 here. So we can just copy the same formula. Same formula, only thing we need to change the condition to landscape. So now you can see here it is landscape. So first 60 is shown here and vertical size is given as 30. Now if you change it to portrait, it will change the other way. So vertical size is exactly same, but same formula, but only the condition is different. We have to check whether it is landscape. So that is done. Next, enter a formula in cell B16 to calculate the number of tiles required for a wall with no window. To calculate the number of tiles on a wall, the tiler calculates the number of tiles required horizontally and multiplies this number by the number required vertically. And it's given 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. If tile has to be cut, it will be counted as full tile use. So we have to use a roundup formula to make sure full tile number is shown, and add 5%. So in order to find the number of tiles, we have to divide the length of the wall by the number of tiles required horizontally. So to get the number of tiles for the wall, we have to divide the length of the wall by the horizontal tile size, and then it should be multiplied by the height of the wall by vertical tile size. Now the length and height are given in meters, so it needs to be converted to centimeter. So we'll multiply by 100. So first let's calculate the tiles required horizontally. So that is the length of the wall multiplied by 100 to convert it into centimeter, divided by the horizontal tile size. So this is the number of tiles required horizontally. Now if there is any part of the tile, we need to make it whole. So we have to do a round up function for this one. Round up, comma 0, because we need a whole tile. So this is the number of tiles required horizontally. Now we have to multiply the number of tiles required vertically. So multiplied by, it will be a similar formula. So let's copy this. I'm copying this. So here for the vertical tile, we have to divide the height. So instead of B3, it will be B4. And it should be divided by the vertical tile size. So instead of B13, it will be B14 here. So we got the number of tiles required horizontally, and it is multiplied by number of tiles required vertically. Now according to the question, add 5% to the number of tiles in case of breakage. So we have to add, this is the total number of tiles plus a 5% of this should be added. So to make it easier, I'll give multiplied by 1.05. That means the whole tiles plus 5%, that means 0.05. And again this has to be rounded up, because in case there is a part of tile or decimal number, it needs to be rounded up. So round up, at the end you have to give comma 0 to a whole number. So this is the required formula. First we have found the number of tiles required horizontally, then multiplied by number of tiles required vertically, and since we need 5% extra, we gave multiplied by 1.05, and that is again rounded up. So this is the formula. Next, enter a formula in cell B17 to calculate the number of tiles required for a wall with a window. So it will in order to calculate this, we have to calculate the number of tiles for the whole wall, and we have to calculate the number of tiles used for the window. For window, do not include any part tiles. That means we have to round down the function when you are calculating the number of tiles for window, and we have to subtract the number of tiles for window from the tiles for wall. So for wall we have already calculated. Now we have to calculate the value for window and then subtract it from the number which we calculated for the wall. So first I am entering the formula for the number of tiles required for wall. So equal to, so this is the length of the window, so this multiplied by 100 to make it centimeters, then divided by the horizontal tile size. Now if there is any part, we have to round it down. So I will round down to 0. So this is the number of tiles required for the window horizontally. Now we need to find similar way number of tiles required vertically. So that will be multiplied by, I'll just copy this formula once more so that it's easier. So it will be the height of the window, so B11, divided by the vertical size, so this one. So this is the formula for the number of tiles required for the window, which is the number of tiles required horizontally multiplied by the number of tiles required vertically. Now we have to subtract this value from the number of tiles required for the wall. So we have already calculated the number of tiles required for the wall, that is given here. This is the number of tiles required for the wall. In the previous case, we had to multiply it by 1.05 because if there is breakage, extra 5% has to be used. But in this case, it is not asked. So we just need the number of tiles required for the wall. So I will copy this formula. Now let's add it here. Equals. So this is the number of tiles required for the wall. Now we need to subtract the number of tiles required for the windows from this value. So this is the number of tiles required for the wall. Now we need to subtract this value. I'll cut this from here. So minus, let's add the formula here and close the bracket. So now you can see this is the number of tiles required for the wall minus number of tiles required for the window. So this is the number of tiles required with window. Next we have to add 10% to the number of tiles in case of breakage. So in the previous question we had added 5%. For that we gave 1.05. Same way here we have to multiply this value with 1.1 because 10% breakage is there. So this is the value. Now this is the number of tiles, so we need to round it up. So let's give round up, and at the end you can give 0 because we have to round to the whole number of tiles. So this is the formula, round up the number of tiles required for the wall minus number of tiles required for the window multiplied by 10% breakage. Next, place formula in your spreadsheet so that if the tile is square, the contents of the cells in A8 and B8 are not visible. So if the tile is square means here the tile size will be, the horizontal size and the vertical size will be equal. So if it is square, we have to make sure the contents of cells in A8 and B8 are not visible. A8 and B8 means these two cells must not be visible. So here we make use of conditional formatting to make them not visible by setting a font color of white to these cells. So let's give the formula in conditional formatting. Select these two cells A8 and B8, then go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, go for more rules. Now we need to use a formula, so use a formula to determine which cells to format. So we need to check whether if the horizontal size is equal to the vertical size. So if it is equal, we need to format these two cells into white color. So font color I will set to white. Let's give OK. So this is the formula which we have used to make sure these cells are not visible. Give OK. So when you select a square tile 60 by 60, we can select, this will not be visible. and when you select a rectangular square, you can see 60 by 30, this should be visible. Next, place formulae in your spreadsheet so that when the letter N is placed in cell B5, the contents of the cells in the range A10 to C11 and A17 to B17 are not visible. So if cell B5 has value N, we should not, so we can enter Y or N here. If it is N, we have to make sure the cells A10 to C11, so A10 to C11, that means these cells, and A17 to B17, so A17 and B17, these should not be visible. So select these cells. Again we'll do conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, go for more rules, use formula. So here the formula is, we have to make sure this cell, the cell B5, if it is equal to N. If it's equal to N, we have to format these cells with white color. So I'll give white, give OK, and OK. So now you can see I have given N here and all these have disappeared or they are not visible. When I enter Y, it will be visible. Next, place formulae in your spreadsheet so that when the letter Y is placed in cell B5, the contents of the cells in the range A16 to B16 are not visible. So in a similar way we can do A16 to B16. So A16 and B16, these must be not visible when it is Y. So select these cells, conditional formatting, go for more rules and then use formula. It will be cell B5 equal to Y. If it is Y, these cells should not be visible. Give OK. Give formatting, go to format, color should be white, give OK, and then OK. So the contents of these cells will not be visible when you choose Y, and when you type N, you can see these cells will be visible, but the other cells which we have specified here are not visible. So you can go to conditional formatting. If you want to see the rules, you can go to this, select this conditional formatting, go to manage rules. You can see which formula we have set for each value. Save this spreadsheet with the file name tiles1 followed by your center number and candidate number. So let's save. Tiles1. So it is saved as tiles1. Next, test this spreadsheet with the following test data and save each test as a spreadsheet with the given file name followed by your center number and candidate number. So first we need to give a wall 3 meters long, 2 meters high with no window. So that means it should be 3, 2, no window, and the tile size is 50 by 25. So the tile size must be 50 by 25. The tiles will be set in a landscape orientation. So it is landscape. So you can see this is the number of tiles required with no window. We need to we need to save this file as tiles2. So file, save as tiles2 inside your folder. Next, a wall 3 meters long and 2 meters high with no window. So 3 meters, 2 meters with no window, and the tile size is 30 by 30. 30 by 30. So let's save this. Save as. This should be saved as tiles3. Next one, a wall 5 meters long and 2.4 meters high with a window 1 meter long and 1.2 meters high. So we have 5 and 2.4, 5, 2.4 with a window. So there is a window, so enter yes here. Why? The tile size is 60 by 30. The window size is 1 meter and 1.2 meter. 1 and 1.2. It should be set in landscape, just landscape. So now let's save this as tiles4. Tiles4. Next, the same wall as tiles4 with same tiles set in portrait orientation. So all these settings will remain, only it will be set as portrait orientation. So let's change this to portrait. So now we need to save this as tiles 5. So this is our completed spreadsheet. Please note that this merge cell, the text is right aligned, which I have missed in the first step. So please note that this is right aligned. So the spreadsheet task is done. Now next one is the sound and video editing, which will be done in another video. You can find the link in the description once it's uploaded. Thank you for now.